Hey everybody. I just saw the new movie Strange Darling, and you know what? I was trying to do a version of this where I could be like spoiler free, but I don't think I am. I do think I'm going to jump into a little bit of spoilers for it. There's not a whole heck of a lot really that I can say without kind of getting into the meat of it. Would I recommend the movie? Sort of. It's pleasant to look at and the acting is fine, but in terms of like story development, it is just paint by numbers. One thing I will say that is still a little spoiler free is that the movie is presented in chapters, but the chapters are shown out of order. And this leads me to probably my biggest problem is because they use the chapters out of order to try and present a narrative. But because you know they're showing them out of order, anybody with any kind of like media literacy, anybody who's seen any kind of movie ever knows that, okay, well, what they're presenting us isn't actually what the truth of the matter is. We will see some kind of change in the future. There will be some kind of twist. They're going to try and change it. Like, it's just so obvious to the point where the beginning of the movie, though highly entertaining to watch these two actors in like these awkward situations and stuff, is ultimately useless because it doesn't really serve a greater purpose because we're waiting for the other shoe to drop because you were showing us things out of time, out of sequence. And it's just so obvious. So I'm gonna jump into some spoiler stuff for it just because it really bothers me. So we'll get into the big one. They spend the whole beginning of the movie trying to convince you that like Kyle Gallner's the demon is like hunting her down, like he's a bad guy, he's a serial killer, when it's quite obvious that it's, you know, if you spend the first half of the movie telling me he's the villain, he's the villain, he's the villain, but you haven't shown me like significant events, we know she's the villain, we know she's the killer. So Willa Fitzgerald plays a killer called the Electric Lady, and you know, like I said, the acting is fine, but it's like you just spend the first half, and it's not that long of a movie, so you spend the first half kind of waiting for them to get to like, all right, show her reveal, show her be the Electric Lady. Let's just get to it. Let's get to it. And it just takes too long to kind of get there. So you're kind of fading in and out for the beginning of the movie. Though, like I said, it's well acted, well shot. It's just boring because we know that the high stakes stuff is not going to happen until the end anyway. They're going to save everything for the end of the movie anyway. And then they do. And it's so just bad. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. It's like borderline stupid the way she kills Kyle Gallner. It's just dumb because like the whole time it's just, yeah, like she's in this freezer, like the meat freezer, which she wisely unplugs, but she's got like bear spray with her, which we as the audience know Kyle Gallner does not. So the whole time she's in the freezer, I'm like, don't get close to the freezer, she has bear spray. Now he doesn't know that, admittedly, so it's a little forgivable. But then when she sprays him with the bear spray, instead of backing away out of the room, he gets closer to her, which allows her to like bite him in the throat and kill him. And then what is pretty clever is she stages it like he had sexually assaulted her. So when the police come in, and thank God, coincidentally, it's a grizzled old veteran man, but a young Spitfire female cop. And she's like, she's a victim. She's a victim. And he's like, we don't know that. We need to be like, follow protocol. We got to do this. We got to do that. And she's like, no, we don't. You're just saying that. And he's like, no, I'm saying it because I'm experienced. I'm not saying it because of a sexist thing. But the Electric Lady fakes like a spasm and they get her in the car. And it's just like, it's like you almost had something interesting to say there, but she didn't really play it up enough. It could have been more, and it just kind of goes flat. And the ending is very indulgent, and it's like, I'm like, okay, the movie's over, please stop. Like, just stop. So I found the movie to be extremely frustrating because the first half of the movie, if I can recap my points here, is essentially useless because it doesn't provide us any information because they've set everything out of time and out of order. So there's not even like a progression of stakes, you know, like we don't. It's just frustrating. I don't think it works. I understand it as experimental, and it's only done for the sheer purpose so that way they can try and be like, but look, the twist, she's the bad guy. It's like, well, you went too heavy-handed in the beginning, guys. Anybody who's seen any movie ever knows what the twist is going to be. We know she's going to be the bad guy. Get to the meat of it. Get to the conflict of it. And when it does, it just kind of falls flat because it's like, you know, you're already halfway through the movie. It's almost done. And then, like I said, the ending is just goes on too long. So I don't know, not really my favorite movie. I was a little disappointed in it. I think it's serviceable, but overall pretty mediocre. So I don't know. Let me know what you think, guys. Anyways, till next time.